Well, guys, welcome. It has been quite a while since I have posted on my YouTube channel, but in the meantime, I actually have a story I wanted to show some of you. So, without further ado, I have prepared this 55 slide PowerPoint, which I will get through pretty quickly. I just thought it'd be cool to share with y'all. So, let's get to it. If the PowerPoint will go. So, the year was 2016, and I was invited to a friend's birthday party. And it was the morning after. We slept over at his house. And I've got a foam glider. I brought it with me, and I threw it in the backyard. And it was a lot of fun. It was probably one of my first experiences getting into aviation. I always thought it was cool as a kid growing up, but I never really physically interacted with it until I got this foam glider. And I used to do things with this glider. I knew how planes worked a little bit, how the control surfaces work, so I'd sometimes mess around with it so it might roll around and might do stuff. And then I eventually started putting wheels on it, so when I threw it, it would land on the wheels, which was pretty cool, but they were only duct taped on there, and I didn't really get past that. Until about 2018, I bought an RC plane off of Amazon. It was basically this. It's not exactly this. It doesn't have a nose propeller on it. It's in the keepsake somewhere. It's a two-channel plane. So basically, only the two propellers functioned, and that steered it. And it was a blast. I flew it a lot in my front yard for quite a while until I got it stuck at the top of one of my trees in my front yard, which is absolutely massive, so you had to wait for the wind to blow it down. But it was a really, really fun experience getting into RC planes. So then a bit later, my dad and I were in a hobby store, and he actually bought me a remote controlled, this is called a Sport Cub S2 RC plane. And it is 4-channel, meaning everything's controllable. And it was my first RC plane. I fell in love with it. Always wanted to play with it, and it was one of my favorite toys as a kid. And then, oh dear, I'm not gonna miss my old face. I watched this movie with my dad. Came out in 2019. It's called 1917, and it's what first got me into my brain, or it's what first got me thinking about World War One. And that is a biplane I got for my birthday for September of 2020. And I love that biplane. I flew around a lot, and I was getting into RC planes. It wasn't a World War One RC plane. It's a World War Two RC plane. It's called a P-17 Stearman. Unfortunately, I crashed this eventually, and they don't make it anymore, but I'm planning on repairing it someday. Oh boy. So, I got to Halloween after watching 1917, and I fell in love with the character, and I wanted to be him. So, I decided I would do that. This is a photo of 8th grade of me in a gas station in my car with a modern vest, backpack, a mask because it's the pandemic, and a Nerf gun. I don't quite know where I got the helmet from. My mom probably just bought it off of Amazon for me or something. But that was my first ever documented photo of me in a World War One outfit. Well, quote unquote World War One outfit. This is not a World War One outfit at all. But besides the helmet. But then I started getting more into military aircraft. I started finding more interest in the military, and I got into some World War II planes. This is one of my World War II bombers. This is a little bit off topic, but I thought it'd be interesting to share. I built this and I flew it, and it never crashed, and it's sitting in my basement still. So a bit later, we're jumping. This is November, and this is May. This is when I graduated middle school, and I got into airsoft, which my friend showed me. This is my modern kit. I could not afford a mask or a gun at the time. I was unemployed. I was like 14, but this is my outfit, and when I first started going to airsoft, I just used rental masks and guns, and I found it fun. And then a month later, no, 2 months later, I got a World War I RC plane, and this is one of the coolest things I ever owned. It's sitting right behind me in my room. Um, it's one of my favorite planes ever. Sopwith Camel. Really fun plane. Really fun. Really fun to put together. Really fun to fly. And then I started. I look. I'm gonna be honest with you. I have no idea where I got the money for this. This is when I got World War I webbing. I'm just gonna assume this was my allowance money. I don't know, but this is PO8 webbing that World War I soldiers wore, and I obviously bought off the movie 1917 because I wanted to put something together. So then in September 2021, I put together my first like official World War I outfit. See, with this one, you could look at me and say, "Oh yeah, that's a soldier from World War I, a pretty bad one, but they would recognize it." Not much to say. I got some motorcycle boots, some putties, a button-up shirt from Macy's, and I replaced the buttons with brass buttons. And then I got Dockers pants and a belt. And then I got a steel World War I Brody helmet and a canteen, which was not what they drink out of. That's not a realistic canteen. But then later, I almost, well, I wouldn't say die. That's a harsh way to put it. But I almost got my life shortened of 20 years because I wanted to get a World War I gas mask. So I got a real one and almost got asbestos poisoning, not knowing that that stuff is bad for you. And then we had to ship it back like a day later. But I did get some pictures of it, and it is pretty neat that I once had a real World War I gas mask. It was Canadian. A little bit later, I went to Indiana for a trip, and I came back, and one of my, well, not one, I only ordered one, my reproduction SBR gas mask, which stands for small box respirator reproduction, was shipped to my house. So I got home and I put it on. It was great. It didn't kill me. I still have it in my closet. I love it. And yeah, and then this is me, my freshman year of high school. I don't know why I'm holding the nail gun like a gun in my shop class, but I wore it to school. I thought it was cool. Here's a picture of me and my Sopwith Camel in my my World War I uniform at the RC airport. That was always fun. Um, oh dear. So before I got into airsoft, I still didn't have money for an airsoft gun, but I somehow had money for this, if you could believe that. I had Nerf guns as a kid, and I just grabbed I think that's a Nerf rival Jupiter. It's like my only Nerf gun that was bolt action, which is what they used in World War I. So I just took that, and it looks like I went to what's that store? I went to a sports store and bought a rain poncho and just cut it in half and used it as a rain cape off of the movie 1917 because I thought it looked cool. So I went to some Nerf games with it, and honestly, I think it's kind of cool, but some people, I could see why people could find it cringe. But then finally, after a couple months, I got my first airsoft gun. I loved this airsoft gun. This is a German Kar 98K. This is a World War II German rifle. This is not a World War I rifle, just to get that off now. This is not what they used. But it was my first airsoft gun, so I loved it. And I also got my first sidearm. I don't know why I'm doing that pose. That's kind of cringe. It is a 1911, but it's a bit thick because it has a battery in it and it's electric and it's full auto, which is completely unrealistic. But that was my first sidearm. And then I started doing weird stuff like throwing myself down the stairs with a bunch of different armor configurations. But after that, I sorry, got my Airsoft World War One kit together, and after that, I didn't play Airsoft yet, actually. I didn't have a time to go. So I was bored in my room and I made some TikTok videos. Um, that was an era for sure. But then this is my sophomore year, Halloween. Um, Not much to say. It's basically the same outfit. And that's my friends I went with. And then, 1 month later, I believe this is November 8th, 2022, I went to my first Airsoft game. This is my best friend Sam, and this is where I met my now best friend, long time, Zaire. And this is my first time in my World War One outfit out in public, besides Halloween and stuff. But yeah, I thought it was great. And this is me. I think this is like a month later. This was December. I bought a rain cape and a balaclava. It was I initially bought it because I was a little baby and I thought airsoft BBs hurt at first. I'm used to it now, but I used to like overprotect myself when I first got into the hobby. But this is also World War One equipment. Um, for Christmas, I don't know when I got the Lee Enfield. I know I got the MP18 for Christmas, and then I got a realistic water bottle and a rubber bayonet, which was awesome because it went on the Lee Enfield you can see next to the MP18. I still have my Car 98, and this isn't on here, but I also. Oh, wait. No, I've had my entrenching tool. That's just a foldable. That's a modern entrenching tool, but that will eventually get replaced. Here's my costume. I thought the picture on the left would look cool, but I did not have a good quality camera. I started playing World War One games, and I ended up getting into a mafia era because I watched The Godfather once, and I wanted to be a gangster. But after that, I went to my first convention, which was one of the best days of my life. I had a blast. I met a ton of people. I was introduced to communities I had no idea existed, and I met one of my favorite photographers who I met there by coincidence, by sheer coincidence. He went up to me and asked for me and my friend's picture, and we got taken, and they're great. I just love the guy. And then I did a from Mafia to this is the Joker. When he robs the bank with his goons, and then this is my Payday 2 outfit with airsoft. And then I went to Dragon Con, kind of off topic, but then I got a large pack, or what they called in World War One, a valise and a mess tin where soldiers ate out of in September. And then this was junior year Halloween. I have no idea why I did this, why I wore the gas mask in physics class. But after that, my airsoft field, where you saw the photos at my first airsoft day, was closed. So I had to go to this field an hour away called Team Airsoft, and I love it. I love Team Airsoft so much. I love it. I love it. And oh, this is a guy I met who was also doing a World War One impression. He was American, and if you can see, we actually have the same gun, which is a nice touch. And then uh, this is when my friend graduated and was in college, so we took some tomfoolery photos because we were bored. So I was basing my World War One outfit off of the movie 1917. Here's an update on it currently. This is a PH helmet, which was a reserve gas mask if their small box respirator failed on them, and you can see it right here on Schofield in the movie. So that was just something I added on. And then I don't know when I added these on. These were rank patches. That means corporal in the British Army at the time. But here's some more airsoft photos I found in my computer. And then I took a photo shoot with my friend again. I just thought these looked cool. This is one of my favorite photos. I'm probably gonna frame it someday, and I like to call it "Together We Win" because we got our hands up. But yeah, I just thought these photos were cool to share. And then finally, I actually started looking somewhat movie realistic with actual World War I tunic and pants. These were 1907 issued, and they aren't real; they're reproduction. But this is a comparison. Very different. It looks a lot better with the kit, a lot better. And I also got these straps to hold my rain cape up against me. So that was cool. And then here's MomoCon 2024 with the same photographer we met, and he took some cool photos. I like this photo as well. And then here's some other costumes. This is kind of off topic, but these were just some cool ones. This is Arthur Morgan. This is Hoxton from Payday. And then this is Cleveland and Peter from Family Guy, which I thought was funny because I kind of look like Peter. Um, Here's my summer World War I kit. I just took the tunic off, and this is my undershirt underneath. If you can see, there's a white stripe here, and they would write their soldier number on them in the Great War, but they'd actually get rubbed off because they would sweat a lot and it would rub up against stuff. Oh dear. This is Dragon Con 2024. I didn't dress on World War I. I dressed as a Five Nights at Freddy's security guard, but my friend went as a American World War I soldier, so that's just a photo I have. Then I got a leather jerkin, and from then on, that is about it from adding on to my costume. I still have more to add on, but for right now, that's about it. That's my senior year. I did Halloween, so all 4 years of Halloween, I've worn my World War I outfit through high school, which was cool. Unrelated fact, oh dear, Stutterville. I became an Eagle Scout, and here's some pics of me and my marching band in that World War I helmet. Then I went to Anime Week in Atlanta in this kit, which I thought was cool. And then it snowed in my area, so I actually had an excuse to put this all on. I used to put it on a lot when I was first getting into the kit, because I really liked putting it on and wearing it around the house. I just thought it looked cool. But it was actually cold, so I decided to put this on and take some photos, and I like how they turned out. And I can't. This was March or April, I believe it was April. I got another World War I RC biplane. It's behind me in my room, and I love it. I've never had any problems with it. I've never crashed it. It looks beautiful, looks amazing, and yeah. And then I graduated high school and went to MomoCon 2025. Here is me with my friend who's in my channel list under my YouTube channel. You should go subscribe to her. She is really cool. I did a FNAF security guard gig with her, and it turned out really well. I liked the photos. And then this was in May, so this was a month ago, and this is my current World War I kit. So this is the same photographer for 3 years in a row, and I love these photos. I can't get over it. This one right here in black and white is the wallpaper of my phone because I love it. I love the aesthetic. It looks amazing. I never hated it. I never doubted it would never look this cool. So, yeah. Here's a comparison that I put together of 2020 versus now. I've come quite a long way in gathering stuff. And then here's another comparison of me versus the movie, besides the balaclava, because it was very cold that day. Oh, and I also got a um, actual entrenching tool. I forgot to put that at the PowerPoint. There's the stick over it, and that's the actual metal part. If it was original, it'd be rusted, but I got a newer, blacker version. And this is me next to Schofield. So as you can see, I've got the layer jerkin, the webbing, the bayonet, the handle, the rifle, the helmet, the undershirt, the tunic, and you can see the PH hood strap is here, the gas mask strap is here. So I mostly got everything. I just haven't gotten the insignia pins maybe up here to confirm that they're messengers. But this is my last slide I make. This is just improvements in the future. So I should change. These are things I thought I should eventually change to my World War One kit. I still need to do. I need to get. I need to either take my glasses off or get some glasses they wore in the time period to make it look just even better. I'm about to buy a coat, which are called great coats. If you want to look those up, those look really cool. Um, when soldiers went on the front, they often got homesick, so people would knit them vests to bring them comfort and be more at home, even though they were basically in hell. But I should get one of those. I thought that would be a good addition for my kit. And then, if you can tell, this is 1914 webbing. It has buttons all over. And this is 1917 webbing. It has buttons, but these have straps and clips that clip in. I don't have those. I still need those. The reason they adapted those is when soldiers lived in trenches and they pressed up against the walls at the front, these would fly open and their rounds would come out. So they invented these halfway through the war to help prevent that. Blanket webbing, as you can see, our webbing colors are a lot different. His is like way darker and mine's brighter, so I need to blanco those. Dirty up the kit. I mean, you don't have to. I'm not. This isn't a guide for you to make one, but I just think it looks good clean. It doesn't have to be clean, but I think it looks good clean. Maybe I'll dirty it up and experiment with that one day. So what I'm doing right now, like right at this moment, I'm working on the World War One pilot kit, and I'm still working on World War One RC planes, and then I got into college, and I'm gonna pursue aviation to go to Delta Airlines so I can be a commercial aircraft pilot. While I did get into World War One and make this kit, aviation is something I have been interested in a long time, so I'll be pursuing that in the future. And then I got in the college marching band, but yeah, that's about it. That's about what I've been doing for the past 5 years. So, thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for listening to my story. I really appreciate it. And I'll try to make more videos someday. So, just keep it real, guys. I'll be seeing you later.